Hello, Tower fan. And I have traveled up to the Bay Area to come and relax at my parents' house. And if you guys are also looking for a reason to relax, I have good news for you. And that is that today I'm going to be interviewing Mark Olson and Ingunn Ringvold, who are a husband and wife musical duo. And their music is so relaxing and summery. If you're into sort of 70s acoustic sounds and harmonies, you're gonna love it. I think that they're tuning in right now. Mark and Ingunn, let's see how this goes. Hopefully the Wi-Fi at my parents' house isn't too spotty. But yeah, as always, please comment in the comment section. Hi, Mark and Ingunn.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm gonna try to lift up the camera a little.
Great. We'll get our camera situation together.
We are all figuring it out as we go. It has been so many different spaces and internet situations.
Come on in, Ingunn. Come on into the party.
Let's do it here.
Glad to be here.
Well, I am so happy to be speaking with you guys. I love the new album, Magdalene Accepts the Invitation. It was released early June. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, and this Friday actually is when the physical CDs and vinyl are all in the stores. There was a COVID-19 situation at the plant, so we're kind of lucky in that way. We get 2 release dates.
I am so happy to hear that positive spin on things, and we're looking for optimism everywhere we can. So I'm happy to hear that. And of course, Tower Records, we're all record collectors here, so I'm very excited to pick up your new album. It's so summery and relaxing, and it really conjures memories of just like sitting in Joshua Tree or in a nice meadow and just relaxing. I really love it.
Yeah, we put it together ourselves. We're a real husband and wife songwriting team. That's the first step. And then we turned into a husband and wife recording team where I do all the analog stuff with the microphones and getting the different sounds together. And then I hand it to Ingunn and she does all the digital work on Pro Tools. So so we split everything up. And then all this other stuff, our touring, we kind of do ourselves. We've been doing this for well over a decade now. And now we're kind of finding our stride as far
That
as.
is so cool. And by the way, you are my first husband and wife duo that I've interviewed on here. And I love that. I like working creatively with my husband as well. And it's always a process, but I'm so curious about how you guys began your creative relationship together.
Oh wow! So we've been together since 2006. So yeah, we kind of. So I was in my last year of college, and a friend of mine dragged me down to this show, and I didn't know who was gonna play, but we were just kind of like we had like started writing our own material, hanging out in coffee houses, doing open mics, and so it was kind of like a scene, and we loved to go see live shows. So he drags me down there, and it's Mark playing, and so I didn't know who he was, but he was playing a dulcimer, and I was like, oh my god, that is such a beautiful instrument. I love how it sounds. So we started talking about the dulcimer, and then just talked and exchanged phone numbers, and then we kept in touch after that. And then Mark had a show, and then invited me to play. So we before that show we just rehearsed a bunch. So after that first, uh, creative encounter, I kind of knew a lot of its material, and then it was just like a slow process of us getting continuing to. I was making my own albums. I was participating in Mark's albums. He was participating on my albums, like producing, and so yeah. I don't know what.
Can I add something?
Yeah, you can add something.
Okay,
Yes,
well,
please.
it started with this dulcimer instrument, and that kind of bloomed into some other things that were really neat because Ingunn had no idea what the in canoe was. She saw it on a television show in a hotel in Los Angeles in the Armenian neighborhood, and she sat up what is that instrument? Well, it turned out we had an opportunity to go to Armenia with a charity organization called the Peros Foundation, and Ingunn was able to study the Armenian Qanun one summer, and she kept at it and at it, and she learned how to play it really good. And we use it in our live shows, and we use it on this album on Christina High. So it gives a whole new soundscape, and that's been something from the first day of our relationship. Interest in other kind of sounds and developing them. So we're not really a duo with two guitars. We use other things. And Ingunn's always played the djembe. She played that in her jazz band at home, and she had a motor scooter with the djembe on her back. So
yeah, that was in high school.
Yeah.
I would like take my djembe on my back and ride my scooter to school.
Yeah, that's cute.
I love that. Djembe is such a beautiful instrument too, and good on you guys, because I do believe multicultural instruments that have so many different sounds that you're limiting yourself just by playing the guitar. So that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit more about that organization?
Okay.
They're wonderful.
Yeah,
they do like amazing work in Armenia, and also it's a wonderful organization to donate money to, because however much or little you can donate, it goes a long ways, and they really help a lot of people.
What they do is they help rebuild schools in Gyumri was hit by this horrible earthquake, and a lot of that region, we were in the Lori region in a town called Vanisor. It was hit terrible by this earthquake, and we were at a school they were rebuilding from the earthquake, and we could see the work they had done, and they had relationships with all the people, all the teachers. One thing about Armenia that's a little different that we discovered, we were the only English-speaking people, so they had these young women as translators for us, and we discovered that the real cultural difference between there and here is people drop in all the time. And if they're at work, when work is over, they don't necessarily leave right away. They like to talk.
Yeah, they like to hang out and
They like to hang out. It's like, it's very cool. Like, people will stop by and meet you, and you can stop by and meet them. If you stop at their house, they will like give you food and all this stuff. It's really something. Now, when we first were there, they thought we were Hare Krishnas because we were playing the drums.
We were rehearsing.
And nobody would talk to us
for 2 weeks.
And
nobody would talk to us.
And then this lady made an announcement that we are not Hare Krishnas, and everyone started coming up to us. It was really cool. It was like, but they didn't know what to think of us at first. They were, because there's a courtyard. You know, they live in these big apartment buildings with courtyards, and so it's like a little public space back there. And so they kept hearing us drumming, and they were a little concerned. I think, what are they up there?
That is too funny. It sounds like you guys travel a lot together.
Not anymore.
Well, yeah. It's so funny what you were saying about Armenians dropping in on friends. That's something that I miss so much, and so especially now, that sounds like such a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have a little bit of like social anxiety, so when COVID hit, it was just like, well, that's okay, because I don't like to really go out that much anyway, and go on a tour. So we were just like, well, we're gonna be at home rehearsing anyway, so we're just gonna sit tight and do our thing. And then it just went on and on and on, and you know, our tour got canceled. We were supposed to be on the road in June, and yeah, and I was talking to my sister, like, now it's just like, now I'm so fed up at being at home. Like, I would just want to do stuff.
She's hit the wall.
Yeah, and we feel the same way. It's like, I'm gonna puke now. I want to see some people again, and want to do stuff again. So. But
I have 2 gardens going, and we have 2 dogs, and we live in a place where the wind blows a lot, so there's a certain amount of upkeep that needs to be done. So I just try to focus on that, and we've been trying to promote our new record, which takes some time, and do all that kind of thing. So it's been okay for us. I think that there's a lot of other people that are worse off than us, because we're just sitting out here in the middle of nowhere, and they're ranging very nice. Okay, you can order food here. here, and it's amazing. I mean, people are taking the time, and they're helping. We have a farmers market, and they will bring the food to your house. I mean, that's crazy. It's so
Are you
nuts.
guys, you're based in Joshua Tree, right?
Yeah.
I love Joshua Tree so, so much. It's one of my favorite places to visit. And I'm curious, now that COVID has been brought up, how has the vibe been out there? Are people pretty much sheltering in place? Have any orders been lifted? What's the situation?
Yeah, a lot of people here are still wearing masks, and they're doing it because they want to protect themselves and others. It's kind of like an act of love, and a lot of people are here. I feel like that people are really caring for one another.
Like at the farmers market, everybody wears a mask. That's the main social event on Saturdays here, and everyone's cool with it. Everyone wears a mask.
Yeah, and then we have one little health food store, and you're not allowed to go unless you have a mask. So,
and they have some floor washing stuff for your feet and it's really cool. Yeah. And then we have a herb shop called Grateful Herbs.
Grateful Desert, I think.
Yeah, Grateful Desert.
Yeah.
Very cool. I just called them up because they had a little ad on Facebook with some olive oil and stuff. I said, I'll take everything you had. Our car's broke. Another little detail. Our car's broke.
I'm so happy to hear that, and again, Joshua Tree is one of my favorite places, and it's because the people are so wonderful. So I'm happy to hear that you guys are holding it down and that everybody's being respectful. So many threads to pick up. Which one do I start with? Mark, you were the co-founder of a band called the Jayhawks, and I'm curious about what the process is working with a band versus working with your partner.
Okay. Well, I think that one thing I will say that's different is when we're married, someone who you're married with and living with 24/7, and you start that process of working on music, it's a very definite line for me. Like, okay, we are working on music now. And so that'll be 7, 8 hours a day or more or less. But during that process, we develop the harmony parts, and we develop the melodic parts, and we develop the string parts by osmosis. We're just doing it all the time. And so there's no like direct, when you're in a band, you go to a rehearsal. And then during that time, you have to come up with your parts, you come up with your lyrics, you come up with your arrangements at that specific time. But when you're working at home, you kind of slowly develop them, and they almost become like you dream them, like you're not working on them, they just kind of happen. And I really like that. That really started with our last record. Some of the parts I felt like, Ingunn, where are you coming up with parts? They so nice, they just fit the song. What's going on? It's really working out well. And so that went into this thing. And so that it's not a now, Ingunn, you need to come up with your. I don't do no. She slowly, we develop these parts, and I think that's a big difference. I think it's a little bit of an advantage then to be at home with your wife, who's also thinking along the same terms, rather than having to drive to a rehearsal, set a rehearsal. A little bit thing. Now, people work on the computer now, where they send each other tracks on the computer and say, "Okay, I want you to add this on." I'm not really into that so much. I do it. I have to. But what happens with that, I have to say, is about half of the time it works and half the time it doesn't work. I think you just have to accept that the long distance stuff isn't going to work all the time.
It sounds like you guys have such an element of experimentation and of play approaching your music, and it really does show when you listen to the music that you guys have fun doing it. And in terms of the other bands that I've been interviewing here at Tower, you guys are extraordinarily lucky because so many bands who have also released albums during quarantine have not been able to get together to practice, have not been able to, keep experimenting. And so it's so cool that you guys get to do that.
You want to say something about that?
About what?
About getting together and practicing. Video.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we didn't really do like the playing in front of our own thing. What we did was that we set up on our porch. So we rehearsed up some songs, and then we grabbed a couple that we do in our live set, and we played. We did some sessions where we recorded it inside our house and on the porch, and then we filmed it. And then what we did was that we added a little bit of reverb at the end, so that, and then Mark mixed it so that the levels were the way we want the levels to be. And so that was a fun to do. And also it I don't know, it's just, for me it was like, well, we were supposed to be on this lovely tour, and
it seemed a little weird, like, well, we're going to get in the car and go play this beautiful place in Minnesota. We're going to go all the way to New York and get to play this place, and now we're playing in front of the
like, I don't want to do that. So that's how we did it. So we made a little, like, 5-song live set in Joshua Tree video that's on YouTube.
And it stars our dog. We have a dog. We have two, but this
that is so cool.
one is just, it wants to do what we do.
Yeah.
I love that. I always
dug gardens. This dog went in and turned the soil when we're making the video. This dog is in the video, stepping on my guitar pedals. You know, it's kind of weird. The dog.
Mark and Ingunn, I am gonna try to call you guys back because it seems like you guys are breaking up a little bit.
What we're doing, and then it's gonna do it too.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Here, I'm gonna call you guys right back. You guys stay tuned. I'll call you right back, and hopefully the internet will be working. Guys, stay tuned. One moment.
I live without.
Sorry about that, gang. It looks like they're experiencing a couple of internet issues. We know how that goes these days. It is crazy to try to, expect it to go perfectly all the time. So hopefully they'll turn right back in and we can pick up where we left off, because I really want to hear about that dog story without it breaking up. Gosh, aren't they such a dream? I really love them. Let's see. Let's hope that this goes a little bit smoother. And if not, we'll just take it from there. Okay, it says that it's waiting for them. Can you imagine just playing concerts with the love of your life out in front of your house? Hey guys, sorry about that.
We're here.
Oh, okay. There's a little bit of lag, and so I'm just gonna go slowly, and hopefully there won't be too much lag, because the internet is the internet. What can we do? But that's so cool that you have a dog that you put in your music video.
We didn't put her in the video. She's the video. She's in many different songs. One song through the whole song right next to Out. Oh, that's under Let Sleeping Dog.
Very good. Well, you mentioned this a little bit, that you guys were planning on going on tour and you had a bunch of places in mind. I would love to know, whenever it's safe to pick it back up on tour, where you plan on going, and is there anywhere that you haven't played that you really want to?
that we haven't played.
And places that we're going to go to.
Well, there's a couple of states that I haven't been to. Hawaii, I've never been there, so I'd love to go there. But yeah, we were like the Midwest and the East Coast, and then on the June tour. So hopefully we'll get to do a West Coast tour.
And in Europe, we play in Scandinavia quite a bit. We play in Norway, Ireland, in the UK. And this time we really hope to go to Italy. They wrote a couple articles about us in Italy now, and we really want to go there. And we're hoping to go. We really think that it's all going to pick up in 2021. You know, in the summer. I think 1 year from now is when everything's going to be what we're hoping to do, and we'll start over again then. And sometimes it's such an adventure tour. Two of us, and we take various vehicles. We don't like have a tour van or anything like that. We'll take a train, we'll take a Greyhound, a plane, and then we'll get in a taxi. Every day we have a different mode of transport, and we carry the instruments ourselves, and I don't know, it's nice. We get in shape. It's a healthy situation.
Now, it's so interesting to me that you guys do everything yourselves. You produce your music together. You are your own tour managers. You guys really are a self-contained business. And in many ways, that feels like it would be so ideal and such a free way of living. I'm curious, are there any challenges that come with that?
Well, yes. We want to hire a sound. That's our big dream, is going to hire the sound man, because our music is somewhat complicated as far as, because we change instruments a lot. And we went into this new thing where they're doing sound on the iPad, and it just doesn't work like an old soundboard works. And so we need to get ourselves in mind. I wrote him an email. So we'll see. Yeah. When the next tour comes up, we want to hire a sound man. Any complications you can think of?
No, I actually think that it's. I think that it's kind of a myth that you're not supposed to work with your partner but I think that the emotional strength that you receive from the person as a person that's family is like there's nothing that can beat that. So that's one of the things that makes you able to do all this hard work, and it's hard to do like a 4-person job, just the two of us when we're on the road.
And when things get funny, I hate to tell everyone, but things can get funny on the road. And we once hired a musician, a great guy and a great musician, but for some reason he decided he was going to collect all money. And I asked him every night, hey, can I get the money? No. He says, yeah, you get the money. But every night he went money. And so that he kept the money. I just was like, maybe we should be keeping the money. So we were. That
was probably one of the top craziest.
Yeah, that was crazy. So, but stories. We were together. I think he just, what it was is he wanted to come home with a lot of me. So if he felt like if he had all the money, then it would work out that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think that 1 week for him was just, it broke.
Yeah, but no, he was a good, he was a good person and a musician. But we had to work that out. And being a married couple helped us to be able to work out in a foreign country a very difficult situation, okay? And that's been the way things do go completely south. We are able to figure it out together and work as a team together. We had to hire a translator then to communicate with him in his language on paper, so it would all be nice and perfect and everything. And so it all worked out in the end. But hiring a translator at 4 a.m. before you're going to get in the vehicle the next day, that's something. But it worked out. She knew the language. She knew the language to get. So
I have a friend from.
We don't need to say the language.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Well, it sounds like you guys really do a good job of keeping each other stable and keeping each other calm and collected, even when being on the road can be so unpredictable. Something that I always like to ask musicians, especially those that have been releasing albums under quarantine, is how would you like for fans to listen to this album? Are there any ideal circumstances for listening to it? Would you like us to be drinking something or sitting outside or driving? What do you think?
Well, I would say that we test print of vinyl, and I will say that it sounds better than the MP3. So for people who enjoy vinyl, I would encourage them to get vinyl and then listen to the whole record. That's what we've been doing.
I would like, yeah, that's what when I listen to.
And Mark makes a lot of iced teas, so
yeah,
that's
when I listen to music, when I search music.
Oh no! Oh, I so badly want to hear where he's going with this. Oh, it seems like we're running into some more stability issues. I can't hear you, Mark. I'm sorry. I want to hear this story so bad. Here, I'm gonna try this. Of the chat, and then I'm gonna try to re-add them, and hopefully that will work. Let's see, how do I do that? Okay, fingers crossed, everybody, that this works. It sounds like, I don't know, maybe it's being in Joshua Tree. That's way out in the desert, and who knows what the internet is like out there. So hopefully we can connect to them. Hey, there you are. Sorry about that. It looks like there's some connectivity issues, but I would like, could you tell that story one more time?
Okay. When I search music on the web, I search full album. I type in, like, if it's Burt Jansch, full album. If it's Pentangle, full album. If it's the Beatles. So I want to listen to full album. And I hope that people would listen to us that way. They would put on the album and listen to it. I have a old-fashioned stereo system, and I can play it so loud that I'm on the porch listening to it. And so I would just hope they listen to it with a cold drink out on the porch in during this isolation time.
Nice glass of iced tea, pop on your headphones or put it on your record player. I love that, and I plan to do that. Man, I have so many questions and so many threads that I want to pick up, but I guess something that really makes me curious about you guys is, again, living in Joshua Tree. It's a great place for artists. It's a really beautiful place. Is there something that you can tell me about how your surroundings inspire you for music?
Yeah, I guess because it's kind of I mean, where we live, we have some neighbors, but it's a lot of nature around. So we have all this space. So I think we don't feel like crammed up ever. So I guess that kind of affects our mental space.
Yeah. And there's a lot of animals and plants, and we keep an eye on, or are keeping an eye on us, which is a little like wow. There's bobcats. One time a bobcat came right by and stared at Ingunn, like, from about 15 feet away.
Yeah, that was.
And that's weird. A big cat.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And then we have coyotes and all these things and all sorts of stuff. Mm-hmm. In general, I just think Joshua Tree is a very inspiring place because of the nature and the people. idea that you can come here and kind of get away from it all. It's kind of a getaway from it all place where it slows you down. Okay, you're not always. The first thing that happens when people come out of here from the city, they want to go. Where can I go get breakfast? Where can I go get a coffee? Where can I go? They're moving 1,000 miles an hour, and we're just sitting there going, whoa, whoa, whoa! They're rooted. They're spinning. They're spinning. They're spinning, and eventually you do slow down here, and it slows down quite a bit. Slow for some people. Like they want to do something, and it's like, well, there's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do.
And I also think that there's a lot of the artists out here. They work from home, and so there are a lot of it's kind of like an isolated work when you do everything from home. So when you do go like to the post office or to the grocery store, it's like, oh, I finally get to see someone, and then you want to chat with whoever is there for like 10 minutes.
Okay.
The music is so indicative of that.
Yeah.
When you start talking too much, and I can tell you something else. On the last song on our record is directly from Life in Joshua Tree, because there aren't naturally trees here, and so you develop this great love of trees, so you're like, wow,
I have to say, I'm listening to the audio, but
it's green.
It's coming a couple minutes after.
Soft shade. Look at the tree. And so we wrote a song called Black Locust, and that's a type of tree that grows well here. And it's about plant. I had a man teach me how to plant trees.
Oh no!
Yeah. I had a man teach me. He taught me. This is how you plant a tree in the desert. And if you're going to plant a tree in the desert, it has to be one of two trees: a fruitless mulberry tree or a black locust tree. And so anyone interested, I guess they can contact me on social media, and I did write it out, and I'll just, if they want to plant a tree in the desert, I have a
that is so cool
manual about it.
I want to learn how to plant a tree in the desert. I'm gonna let you guys go because I am hearing your audio about a minute after the video, but I truly thank you guys so much for your time today, and the album is such a wonderful testament to living in the desert and the inspiration that you give. Yes, I do. I'm afraid that I am. Is the lag okay for you guys? Because I'm getting your audio much later. Okay, great. We'll keep going.
This is Ingunn's cousin from Norway, right here.
I'll see it in about 30 seconds, I think.
There's
there.
people from Norway on here.
That's awesome. Something that I would love to know is you guys have been playing music. We love Norway. You guys have been playing music together for quite some time, and I would just love to know how you guys have grown as musicians in the albums that you have released, and where you guys are as musicians now. Oh, okay, they've left. Hopefully they'll join me one more time. I can't get enough of them. They're so sweet. But hopefully, let's see. Okay, well, I guess they've left the chat. Mark and Ingunn, you guys are such a treat, and thank you for tuning in. Everybody, please go check out their album, Magdalene Accepts the Invitation. It's fantastic. I'm going to give it a moment to see if they want to come back, and here they are. Okay, fingers crossed, everybody. Let's wait and see. Never thought about planting a tree in the desert before. That's so cool. I feel like I want to go out there and plant a Joshua tree or a mulberry bush because that sounds super interesting. Um, yeah, I really, it's a really special place if you haven't. Hello! Oh, you're outside now. Can you hear me okay? Oh no,
Yeah,
that
I don't know
seems
why
like
it's only here. I tried another location. Let's see. Hey, Mark.
yeah,
We've outside now to try to increase
yeah.
the viability of the viability of this broadcast is in question.
We've just been figuring it out together. But I'd like to take, while you guys are here, just the opportunity to thank you for sitting down with me and trying to figure out this crazy internet together. The album is really, really fantastic, and I think that you guys have a lot to be proud of. And I hope that you're still there. uh, oh, well, the internet's gonna internet. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And in about 20 minutes, I've got another interview.